everybody? Welcome to episode 1103 of Flow Wrestling Radio Live. I am your host, Christian Piles, here in Austin, Texas. A chilly morning here in Austin. Tyler, who walks to work and sometimes skates, he got really cold. Tyler, are you okay from that?
Yeah, you felt my laptop, how it was frigid.
I felt it. It was freezing.
It's 36 degrees out this morning.
That's cold. I thought these days were behind us, but not so.
That's literally freezing.
Yeah, that's what the temperature water freezes at. To the right, Jonathan Kozak. He's here. He's from Michigan. This is literally nothing to him.
Yeah, it's like a nice spring.
This is like summertime in northern Michigan.
Yeah, it's close to that. Yeah.
Oh, he was trying funny things. This guy tries funny things, if I had to guess.
Hello.
Andrew Spey, hello.
I also think the temperature is just fine.
Just fine. But your mortal enemy is who?
The sun, yeah. It will one day bring about my death, and therefore I fight it every day.
Well, keep fighting the good fight. Great weekend coming up in college wrestling. No JD today. He was with Ono earlier this week. Now with Spencer Lee to give Spencer the game plan, to reveal all the secrets of Ono.
Oh, that's what he's doing out there.
No, he's not a spy.
Did you know he was there on Ono's 21st birthday?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want JD. That's not good.
In Iowa?
I don't want No, not in Iowa.
With Ono.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, no. Yeah, but Ono's in Pennsylvania now. All right.
All right, we're catching Spey up to speed here.
He's taking place in Iowa. I don't know where he is.
He's like, let me introduce you to my best friend, Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Busch Light.
It's Busch. But yeah, none of those, I'm sure. Yeah, but that's cool. Happy birthday to Ono. A friend to everyone, certainly.
Truly.
Yeah, and that's coming up less than 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks yesterday. Will be Spencer Lee versus Ono. Coach Brands was hyping it up, and Spencer at the Iowa media availability. Everyone's excited there, and it's going down in Wrestletown, USA, as Coach Brands said. So tickets still for sale. I should have like an easy way to say how you can get them. Like go to Extreme Arena. They're for sale. If you search like
our pinned tweet as well.
It's our pinned tweet. If you just Google like Lee Ono wrestling, it should pop up. If you just type the word tickets.
All the articles and stuff he wrote about it, we include a link as well.
All the articles. We're doing what we can to get it in front of you. The ticket sales have been going awesome. We're anticipating, maxing out that crowd there. So going to be a great time. Looking forward to that. Kozak's kind of running point today. This is his, and he's from Michigan. So Magic Johnson, this show's Magic Johnson
Okay, I'll take it.
because he went to Michigan State.
Can I plug my video at this time?
But also maybe you're Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That could be
You're short, so you're Isaiah Thomas.
Muggsy Bogues, maybe.
Tyrone Muggsy Bogues. Let's kick it to this team's Muggsy
I have a
Bogues.
little snapshot of I did a Bo Basset commitment day video.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We have do you want to talk about it or you want to show the clip?
Let's show it.
Okay, let's show the clip.
What made this process so hard?
I think the relationships that I've created through the process, but previous relationships too. I have a lot of friends on different teams, tight friends too. Like guys I talk to almost daily at every college that I was really considering out of the top 7. So I've got blood, I've got family, I've got teammates going here and family going somewhere else, and a coach that I've had, on countless teams before, and then Team USA coach is here, and then another coach is here. Just guys that I've had all over the place. I think the hardest part for me, to be honest with you, was making those calls. I'm a professional, person, as professional as I can be, and I know that making that call means a lot. Never burning a bridge, because you never know how this sport and how life goes. So making that call to those teams and telling them, you can only choose one, and I appreciate you getting to build a relationship, but it's not going to be that place, is kind of heartbreaking. It's not easy. It wasn't something I took lightly. Making those calls was rough.
And that's it.
That would be a hard thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you should revere these guys so much, and then it's like, all right, Coach Ryan, Coach Sanderson, that'd be tough.
But no one knows where Bo Basset committed yet, and the only way to find out is to watch that YouTube.
Yeah, you have to watch to find out. You have to watch to find out.
He kept a pretty good lid on it, I feel like.
Yeah.
Radio silence. And
Yeah, no one knows yet.
it is wild what a turning point, what a different paths, and then what that leads to, like sliding doors type situation where you could choose any of these great options and your life completely is going to be different than it would have been otherwise in so many other lives and stuff like that. So.
Wow.
Yeah, someone's read the bell jar.
No idea what you're talking about.
No idea.
The classical literature reference.
Tyler.
I thought maybe one of you guys would bite. But
Classical literature.
Let's not. This feels like a Spay Tyler argument that no one wants to hear.
All right.
Sounds like a Rick and Morty episode.
Moving on.
Let's talk some wrestling. Iowa, Minnesota, which I think could be the duel of the week of the century. A lot of really good ranked matchups throughout. Also, Nelson Brands is back in the probables. What do we make of that?
Well, it's interesting because we haven't seen Nelson since, I believe, the Oregon State duel when he wrestled Sean Harmon. He's very literally missed months of wrestling action. And at a point, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, it felt like, I guess, the competition for 74 is over. It's going to be Kennedy. Kennedy was wrestling really well. I don't know how much of Nelson being included is Kennedy's faltered a little bit. He had the loss to Pinto. He had another loss. He lost to Harchla as well. So he's very respectable losses, but losses all the same. Is that what's putting Nelson back in, or is it just Nelson is now available and they're going to give him a couple opportunities? But I wonder how open this spot is in actuality, and how much more would Kennedy need to falter for Nelson to prove he's the guy here? Because when you think about Iowa's schedule, he'll have Whiting. He would have Whiting here. 74 for Northwestern. I don't think that's a real proving match for Iowa. Of course, Dean Hamady, who gets the nod there. The reality is they're both going to be pretty sizable underdogs against Dean at 174. So, how much can you really establish a difference between the two if you're being realistic? So I don't know what it is, and maybe it's just, Nelson's not going to be the guy, but they want to give him some matches just because it's potentially his final year. I don't know, but it would seem hard for Nelson to have the ability on the mat to prove he's the better guy than Patrick Kennedy. That's my read.
Yeah, I think the only real way he can prove it is if they give him a shot against. I mean, Clayton Whiting probably isn't the guy that you prove it, but in a couple weeks against Hamady, I think that's where you really see, okay, is he that much of an upgrade to Patrick Kennedy? Can he establish himself? If he beats someone like Hamady, then it's like, all right, it removes all doubt.
Yeah, that could simplify it a little bit. Curious who they use. It's been, interesting to follow the roster battles at Iowa, and it seems like this one's still someone on. It's got to be a tricky situation for Iowa to navigate. But, that's one more reason to tune in Friday and watch Iowa take on Minnesota. What looks to be it will be a very competitive duel. It will be an exciting duel. A lot of anticipated matches there.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the duel? We want to see.
Let's
kind of break it down. What chances are you giving Minnesota to beat Iowa?
Well, not huge, but I would say maybe a 20% chance that they can knock off the Hawks. I think on paper it's a clear 6-4. I know I saw a lot of 5-5 talk out there. I don't know how on paper you arrive at 5-5 in this match. It seems like there's a clear 6 for Iowa. 133, 149, 157, 165, 174, and 197 feel like a clear 6 where Iowa will be favored. So then you need to start talking, how do you get it to 5-5 and how do you have the bonus advantage? Well, the bonus advantage is pretty simple when you have Gable Steveson, and, you would think he'd be able to get 4, 5, or 6 against Ben Keeter, but then you've got to mitigate bonus in other ways if you're Minnesota. So what are the most likely upset matches for the Gophers as you look at them? A lot of people may put 97 in there. I would not. I feel like I'm not giving Salazar, say what you want, but I just am not giving him a big shot there against Stephen Buchanan, as great as he's looked. I think it's 57 with Askey and Teamer. Just Teamer, we don't really know. And then 33 Wells over Drake seem like the most likely upsets if you're going to have one.
Yeah. I did the preview and prediction for this. I have Iowa winning 6-4, exactly like you said it. But also, I'd add in 165 in there with Sparks and Caliendo,
Super close.
Yeah, they've wrestled 4 times. Caliendo's won all 4, so you might say, well, why would you give Sparks a chance? They've had 4 really close matches, even as recent as last year. I think it was a 2-point match. They've had a couple 1-point matches. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was at the Soldier Salute.
Salute.
Yeah,
7-5. They had an 11-10, a 2-1, and a 5-2 match. So it's the matchup works.
Yeah.
It's that redhead respect that they have for one another that just brings out the best in each other. But yeah, that definitely is one you could potentially circle just because it's always within a takedown, right? So maybe that's more likely than Ja'Cory. The reason I mentioned Ja'Cory's 3-2 right now. And if he beats Tommy Askey, that is by far the best win he has all year long. This is the toughest weekend he's faced. And so, we're trying to figure out where he's at. Missed a bunch of time. He loses to Kasak. No shame in that. He beats Sasso. That's still undetermined what exactly that means at this point. And it looks like Sammy may not even be the guy. They're going to figure that out this weekend, it sounds. So there's no question how good Ja'Cory Teamer is. There's a question how good is he right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he did beat Askey. He majored him a couple years ago, but Askey's made improvements since then, and we don't know where Teamer's at. So it'll be like a really good measuring stick to see if he's back close to 100% or, if he's not.
And Minnesota could have a bonus opportunity at 41 with Von Bar if he really goes after Cullen. Outside, I think, I'm saying beyond outside shot for Flynn over Cruz, just because Flynn just doesn't seem like someone that pursues it in those tight matches. He's in a mission to win the match more than anything. So it's an exciting duel, and what's also a fascinating dynamic. You always think, all right, it'll end with heavyweight, but Minnesota loves to draw. They're the most drawingest team out there. So if they draw here, who knows where it ends?
I was thinking about how many times has Gable Steveson needed to come through in the end for like a win. So let's say they get, Minnesota gets either an unexpected pin or maybe one of those upsets, and it's real tight in there, and it's like he needs to come through. He needs the bonus and get it done at heavyweight and have that moment. I mean, he's had lots of huge moments, but it's usually at the NCAAs. How many times in the dual meet has he had to be the guy?
Gable needs to prove himself.
It's not
trying to figure out.
All. It's when does he get to have those moments? Those dual meet moments are a little bit different.
He really doesn't. I mean, because they draw so often. The last time Junior Worlds 20-something, it came down to the last match in Gable, and he had to win. It was like Gable versus Iran, I'm pretty sure, and that was the team race. Might have been Russia. It doesn't matter. And he won the match, and we won the team race. But other than that, he probably hasn't had a ton of other opportunities, not that come to mind.
Yeah,
on the team side.
A win of that magnitude, anytime you're up against Iowa and it's a Big Ten rival, that might be the a credit in his career that he hasn't really been able to showcase yet.
Coach Eggum, start at 125.
Do it
for us, but also Gable, and also the people. I think that would be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gable, he got his first non-tech last week, right, against
Feldman.
Is he going to be able to tech heater?
I don't know. Feldman did a good job. I felt like they didn't hold. I don't think if Ben Keeter wrestled the way Nick Feldman did at Minnesota, he's not getting out there without getting hit for stalling a lot. Feldman was able to evade in a way that in an oppositional crowd, it's not going to happen. So Keeter's going to have to stay more engaged. A lot of it sort of depends on Gable's, how much does he want it? How much does he go after it early on? I think if the duel's not in hand, it's just a respectful major. But if he's got it in his mind, I'm teching this guy, he'll do it.
Yeah. A lot of interesting matches, but I think maybe the most interesting, at least for me, is probably 184 with Max McAnally. He was undefeated last year as a redshirt, undefeated this year, crazy high bonus against Gabe Arnold. You giving Gabe Arnold a shot against McAnally?
Not a big one. I think Max he might be the best freshman this year, in which maybe that doesn't, there's obviously a case for Josh Barr, and the difference between Max and Josh right now is Josh can win a national title this year. As great as Max is, that just doesn't seem realistic, but what Max has is two legends in his weight, and 197 really doesn't have that. So I think if you actually just compare their seasons, Max more dominant, He's got the ways he's scoring, the frequency. Like he's right there with Josh. I'm not sure who's better, who's having a better year, but I don't see how Gabe wins this match because Gabe wants to win a controlled, slower pace type of match. Max doesn't allow you to really wrestle those, and I do think Max is going to have a hard time scoring on him for a while, but his persistence is going to pay off. I think whether it's a down block reattack, which Max is really good, or he just hits him with a hard double or a single leg, I think Max is going to find his way to a couple takedowns against Gabe. Gabe will probably need a couple takedowns to win this match, and I'm not sure he can do that.
Yeah, it's weird. We were talking about this morning. McAnally's 17-0, 15 wins by bonus, but the 2 matches that weren't bonus were overtime.
Yeah.
Right? And so that gives you like a little bit of,
You're right.
Yeah, a little bit of pause to say like, well, Gabe Arnold, he's really good defensively. Who were the matches he went to overtime? Jaden Bullock
and Berge.
Yeah. So you think, all right, Gabe Arnold is better than Jaden Bullock.
Yes.
Right? Better defensively. So you could see a scenario where he gets in overtime or even gets to rideouts, and then when you get to that point, like really anything can happen there.
Maybe I'm making too much. I mean, I just rewatched the All Red McAnally match, which was an utter domination from Max. And then you watch Silas do what he did to Gabe. Maybe Silas is putting it together. He didn't have the greatest start to his season, so it could be a little bit of that.
That's the transitive match that sticks out when looking at the comparison there. They were both in the second semester of this year, and you had a clear difference of result there. Even if Gabe was able to get that win, it's like, all right, but he didn't do what Max did.
True.
Yeah. So is anyone picking Minnesota?
I am not.
Tyler? You gonna do it?
Man. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I-
No, but my prediction would be if Minnesota does get the upset, then duel of the century of the week is pretty much in the bag.
Yeah.
I think that if they do win, this is my prediction. If Minnesota does win, it's because it's a tie dual score.
Whoa.
And Gable Stevenson gets a pin.
Okay.
That would be
pin.
crazy.
I think the criteria would be like he scores enough points, but that's a bolder pick.
He's bold.
No. I'm saying he pins to tie it. Or like
Right.
it's tied and they win on pin criteria. It's because he got that pin.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's one upset. They need an upset somewhere along the line.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's what it comes down to. And they need to avoid getting upset. You know, Max can't lose, right? Who else could? Cooper Flynn can't get upset by Joey Cruz. These are dual ending results if they happen, in my opinion. So you got to avoid upsets. You got to get one and have the bonus advantage. That's a lot of stars aligning. Now, what are Iowa's bonus opportunities? Could Parco? Maybe. It depends.
He could.
Parco gets it in his mind to score a lot of points, and he does it. And then, he has a Cannon Webster match is 1-0. So who knows? Could Buchanan major Salazar? He can maybe, will, not likely. So there's not a lot of bonus chances. Ja'Cory, the best, has majored Askey. Yeah. Will he? I don't know.
Yeah. A couple of fun little nuggets from this duel, just doing the research. So Cruz beat McCrone a couple weeks ago. McCrone just majored Cooper Flynn.
Right.
So
125 is like, don't forget that we can be crazy too.
Yeah.
They lulled everyone into a false sense of security about that weight.
Yeah, and then 133, Tyler Wells, he's never been bonused in his career, which I thought that was pretty interesting. And then at 141, Schriever majored Vance Vaumbar 3 years ago.
Are you serious?
When Vaumbar was in red shirt. So obviously he's a different guy right now, but
Vaumbar's gotten a little bit better.
Yeah, he's gotten better for sure. So
it's Schriever fever.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So yeah, I mean,
Impressive.
Wild things always happen in duels, or most of the time, dude.
Generally.
So there's probably going to be something right from this one, but it's tough to predict where it's gonna go.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
For sure.
WrestleStat has this duel at 15-15.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well,
They picked Salazar over Buchanan.
Wow.
Oh, they're fans of Isaiah
That's great.
Salazar's endless salad bar. Obviously.
Yeah, they're patrons.
I didn't think I was going to break that up, but then when you did that,
Yeah, you couldn't help yourself.
Yeah, I don't understand.
one last opportunity.
So Buchanan is 13-1 versus common opponents. Salazar 9-7.
And they picked Salazar.
I think it's probably Salazar's record at 84 getting too much.
Juice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the algorithm's giving that too much. Buchanan just looks too good right now.
Just too good.
It's too good. Can't pass it up.
All right. We want to do some Penn State talk.
We may as well.
Yeah. All right. So they've got two really good duels this weekend. Ohio State and then Illinois. How much are they going to dominate in those duels?
Well, I think maybe less than usual because, you listen to Coach Sanderson's media availability and he wasn't definitive, but it would seem like no Braden Davis is it's certainly a possibility. No Kasak, definitely a possibility. So I don't think Penn State's lost 3 matches in a dual meet yet. So that on paper is probably likely to happen if Braden, Kasak don't wrestle and then Mendez beats Bartlett again. So they will dominate and win by, I don't know.
It's a tougher matchup because Bird would be favored against Davis, but if Davis is out, maybe you pick up a couple extra bonus. But for Ohio State, you add in if you pick Mendez again because they've had 4-4-1 bouts, 3 for Jesse and 1 for Bartlett. So you pick the most common outcome, it's going to be Mendez again. And then if you assume, and I kind of did the predictions assuming there would be no Davis or Kasak, that's not a sure thing, but just the most likely. And then it's 2 more wins, so it's 9 points for Ohio State. And that's, they have the closest duel, and it's still a 20-point victory.
Although Maryland did score 10.
They did get 10, but the margin of victory was still 25
Yes.
because then they got bonused a bunch.
Yeah. So no Kasak or Facundo at 157.
Right.
Which I thought that's pretty interesting that Facundo wouldn't be an option. You got to imagine he's going to get a medical then.
Well, yeah.
This year, right?
Couple things, you wonder, it seems like he's injured, so he can get a medical, and that would give Alex 3 more years if he wanted them. But also with Alex, and this is just pure speculation, like even if he wasn't injured, is he really holding 57 all year long, knowing he's probably,
That sounds like torture.
that'd be brutal.
Yeah.
So they've got Pierce and Evans, and they don't need to, use Alex in this situation. So why? And yeah, then at 33, they don't have. Maybe it's McHenry again, or they could use the other guy they've been using it.
Kyasin Garcia has gotten the last 3 starts, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, good news if you haven't heard Coach Sanderson's media, he said Davis is fine, that he would, if it were Big Tens, he'd be wrestling right now, but it's not, so that he may not. And with Kasak, little less information there, but,
Yeah.
feels like you'll see him back. I think it would be good for him not to wrestle this weekend.
Yeah.
It's close to the postseason.
Yeah.
For sure. The Bo Bartlett Jesse Mendez match is this the time that Bartlett gets Mendez?
Well, you could trick yourself after seeing Vance really push Jesse Mendez and think, oh, okay, he's vulnerable. But the things that Vance did to Jesse, we just know that Bo is not going to do them. He is not going to attack double-digit times and get to legs double-digit times against Jesse Mendez and make him strain and make him work that entire time. If he does, then I will recant my statement. But at this point in time, we have never seen that tactic utilized of volume attacking Jesse Mendez from Bo Bartlett. So, yeah, you never count Bo out in this matchup because it has been a 1 takedown match every single time. And I think this one won't be different. But I'm not taking anything from last week's match as evidence for an upset here.
Yeah, it's funny. I think Coach Sanderson did say something along those lines about the Mendez Bartlett match. He's like, he's just got to put himself in more wrestling positions, more scoring positions. Which, it's one thing, for him to say that, but then Bo Bartlett doesn't always do it,
No.
and it does kind of make you scratch your head a little bit. But
Every time he shoots, it's like, oh man, it's beautiful.
you should shoot more. Yeah.
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 Over under on number of times on the broadcast that they mention the 2 different shoes that Bo now wears. Wears a white shoe and a blue shoe.
It's got to be like 1.5.
1.5
Yeah.
because 1 is guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that Bo is favored in wrestling positions?
No.
Because I feel like wrestling like action positions favor Jesse though, as also at the same time.
Well, I don't disagree, but Jesse's not going to fall down. He's not. There's no other way to score on Jesse. You have to go after him. I feel he did get the. I think Jesse the one time Bo beat him. It was Jesse's attack that Bo countered, neutral danger takedown, I believe. But you know, I don't think you can rely on that. You're not going to ride him, I don't think. So you got to take him down, and Jesse can be taken down. It's not easy, but I think your likelihood of winning is, and honestly, I'll say this: like the idea that Bo is going to get counter scored by Jesse, I don't know. We had the Granby of all Granbys,
Yeah.
but like even that's not a sustainable thing. It's not like when Bo shoots, Jesse sprawls and runs behind, right? He's not hitting these great reattacks. It's like I feel like Bo could be shot with or could shoot with, you know, without being really punished that much.
Yeah, it really is amazing. Bo Bartlett's like how often he's tied, and then just 30 seconds left, he's gonna go shoot, and he's gonna get to the leg, and he's gonna finish, and that's almost what he did last year in the NCAA finals. It was like almost too predictable to where he's like, all right, this is really how he's gonna win. He's gonna win an NCAA title like this.
Yeah,
and only because of the Granby he didn't. But like, it makes you think for like if you're Bartlett. Like, man, who cares if you're wrestling from behind because you've shown so many times you can just go out and
go get it
and get one takedown. So yeah, it'd be cool to see him, you know, maybe fire a little bit more at the beginning.
You know, Jesse got that. It was first period takedown right at the end, right? You know, maybe Jesse's like, Jesse Mendez should not want to go to the second period scoreless. Like that's the match that Bo wants.
Yeah.
So don't do that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What about Kirkfleet Feldman? This was like a really, really close match at NCAAs last year. Do we think like we see a similar match? I'm sure the tactic is probably going to be the same from Feldman, just like don't shoot until you need to get one. But do we think it's close, or do you think Kirkfleet widens the gap a little?
I mean, I think the gap will be widened just because it was 1-0 last time.
Yeah.
But I do think the similar tactic is necessary, and shooting early won't make sense for Nick. And, Feldman's great down block, go behinds, reattacks, that kind of stuff. Like you're hoping you get an airmailed shot from Greg you can run around, or just be in the match late. Would not go under him. I think that would not be wise. And really Feldman was someone I thought stepped forward this year, and I really feel like kind of the same as he was last year. So I'm not giving him a huge shot, but you can't deny the strides he made in this particular matchup over the years. It was pretty lopsided in the duel. Big Tens he got a takedown and was closer, and then in NCAAs it was 1-0. So it's trending the right way for Nick. He still needs to get a takedown and put the whole match together.
Yeah. Both of these guys are great wrestlers, great athletes. They're both very capable of putting on amazing performances for heavyweights. But this match in particular at this duel, I'm predicting is not going to be a scintillating heavyweight matchup with lots of points on the board.
I'm predicting,
Especially if they don't give Kirkfleet near fall.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was
Holy
crazy.
cow. That was so obvious swipes.
I think that I agree. Like this match at NCAA's last year made me think, oh wow, Feldman's gonna be like a title contender
Yes.
next year. And then I just haven't seen the version of Feldman this year that I was expecting. I feel like this time around it's gonna be like 2 takedowns Kirkfleet, 0 from Feldman.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty controlled.
Yeah, very possible.
It feels like this season, there hasn't been that many crazy things that have happened. Like, what's the biggest upset or the craziest week? Like, it feels like we need a weekend where things just get a little bit wild.
Yeah.
You know?
I hope you're having a premonition. I mean, I don't disagree. It has been pretty tame. I mean, you've got this, when you have a juggernaut team, I feel like that makes it tougher. Like it limits it a little bit.
Yeah, like just for fun, I was looking at the teams at the start of the season versus the latest rankings, who's made the biggest strides. And most of the changes are Gable Steveson entering. He wasn't ranked in the beginning, or freshmen like Barr or McAnally, those guys making up ground. Other than that, not a ton of variability. And I think also the way the schedule is, you have the CKLV in the first weekend of December, and then you trickle out the matchups in dual meets basically for the rest of the way, and you don't have the big holiday tournaments blowing everything up. So maybe we have to wait till conference weekend before we get the weird stuff.
Yeah, I was just thinking, in years past, even last year, you had Crookham take out Vito like right away, and then like Gabe Dean beating Ed Ruth. Like other seasons have had just things happen that you don't see coming. And in this year, it's just like, okay, Tyler Kasek beats Ja'Cory Teamer. Now he's a new number one. Like that's kind of like the level of, maybe Zeth Romney, right, at CKLV. Maybe he was the biggest surprise. But yeah, we just haven't seen it yet.
I'm an Okie State hater. What is this chat?
I'm just showing you the chat in case you guys want to reference it as the show goes on.
Oh, that John Kozak, known wild and crazy guy.
Yeah.
Guys, how much of an Okie State hater am I? Be honest.
That is
that made
what
me
you
laugh
talk about a lot. Yeah, when the cameers are off.
Yeah.
You're going to have to just drive up there 2-3 more times this year.
Yeah, I just keep going up there and just making fun of them. That's what I do. Yeah.
I kind of like the seeing the.
I like this. This is good.
Yeah, I figured you guys could reference
I can
it.
find out the teams I hate.
Yeah.
Well, Soto doesn't really attack, guys.
People were saying the chat's not the same since the studio setup. So I was like, you know what? I'll put the chat in front of them.
We'll get it right here.
Yeah.
You can get me going easily, guys. You just I saw one
So now
comment.
This
I'm
is what
like,
we need.
Just
yeah.
know, chat, that Christian is going to be able to see everything you say now.
Now they're gonna start.
hold on. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Chat's gonna go nuts in
Do
there.
your worst.
Yeah, if you want to really get CP riled up, start talking smack on The Wire as a TV show. Start talking about the Shenandoah Valley is overrated as far as valleys go.
You would only disgrace yourself with those arguments. I would hate to see you guys do that. Anyways, Penn State, Ohio State.
Penn State, Ohio State. I think it's crazy.
Two other teams I hate.
This is Ohio State's last. It's their last duel of the year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Spade told me that yesterday.
Yeah, looking at the records, and I mean, Penn State has the 2 duels this weekend, Ohio State and then Illinois, and then they wrap up with American, and no disrespect to America, but they're in a different level of competition right now than Penn State, and Ohio State is just done.
Yeah.
They don't have a Sunday duel, and they don't have another week duel, and I think a lot of the Big Ten teams then have that like final weekend is like a non-conference duel that they usually schedule before Big Tens, and nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe Iowa, Oklahoma State will just inject all the insanity.
It could.
That'd be great. 10 upsets.
Yeah. Christian, you did say Ohio State's going to solve the 157. Who's starting there? Is that this weekend or next weekend?
When is the Lock Haven Open thing?
The Matttown Open.
Matttown 1 or Matttown 2?
Well, one already happened.
Okay, so
Oh, you can't figure it out.
it could be Matttown 3 then. How many Mattowns?
Tyler's looking that up, I think, as we speak.
2025
I think
Matttown Open.
I think it's this weekend. But I could be wrong there.
So it's
Sunday, February 16th.
Okay, so yes.
Yes.
Sunday.
Also, Valentine's Day is Friday. But there's also 2 really good duels.
Uh-oh.
I haven't been in a conundrum like this since Daddy-Daughter.
Daddy-daughter dance was last weekend for me.
Did you go?
So, yeah.
I guess Natalie didn't want to do them anymore. I was not invited, so I did not decline it.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. I said no. Yeah, she invited me. I said no.
I said, go with someone else.
Yeah.
Go with Caleb.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, okay.
Yeah. Any more Penn State, Ohio State talk?
No.
More thoughts?
I don't think so. I mean, Illinois, it's a tough weekend for Penn State just in that they're going to have 19 ranked wrestlers they're going to face. So that's big.
Yeah, thinking of other interesting matchups, you really can't pick anybody but the Penn State guys as favorites. But I am interested in just seeing how the results play out. With Illinois has some ranked guys in their upper weights, heavy favorites for Penn State. But are they keeping it close? How are they matching up? How are they wrestling there? How's that gonna? Maybe you learn a little bit of that going forward for the postseason. And then I would love to see Cannon Webster bounce back in a big way against Shane Van Ness. Van Ness is a big, heavy favorite, but Webster kind of hit that rough patch. Wrestling, took 3 losses in a row, but did have a 1-0 loss to Parco. Maybe he's going to gain that back. That would be a huge upset. Not predicting it, but interested in seeing how that plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Davino have any more dates left?
Yes, I believe Davino has one. He has, if he wrestled unattached for like the 4 tournaments that he was in, he's only done 4 duels.
Man, so like really, why not use him here?
Yeah.
If he's got one more date, and
No matter who they send out.
yeah, I mean, it'd be great if they sent out Braden Davis, right? To be able to see, but yeah, give him one more, and then 133 Illinois, Penn State could see Davis, Lucas Bird, and then I think 197 with Braunagel, Josh Barr. I think that's a really good test for Josh Barr, just off of like who. Braunagel, like the type of wrestler he is, he's like super tough, always wrestles really hard.
Yeah.
Curious to see Josh Barr against him.
For sure.
Dude,
It's picking up. I hate.
Everyone's calling out CP now.
It's open season.
But Hingle McCringleberry, he said I hate the Bad News Bears, which that's fun. That's a good movie actually. He said I ride hard for Japan. That's crazy. I've been the one riding hard for Team USA when everyone freaked out that we've been overtaken by Japan.
You honestly were riding too hard for Team USA.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I hate non-pastel.
We could bring up Vision Quest and just spiral off completely for the rest of the show.
It's just not good. No, Wans is asking. I do take a drink of this. These new cups keep it so hot that I just can't be.
I saw your face earlier. You took a sip. Did
It's
you burn your
freaking
tongue?
hot.
Yeah.
It stays like magma. And
You were saying it was too cold in here earlier, so you got to balance
this is
out.
Heating me up. Because a normal mug, like that Cleaver mug, that nice Cleaver mug you've got there,
Yeah,
it freaking.
which Tyler knows nothing about.
I know nothing about it.
You won't watch the. he
No,
hasn't
no Soprano spoilers.
It mixes the sacred with the propane.
Okay.
seen- like a child, a film has many parents. All right.
All
That's
right.
it.
There's some other good duels, other good matches happening around the country. Not sure where you want to go to next. Iowa State, UNI, this weekend, live on Flow Wrestling.
You hear Kevin Dresser's strategy for Parker Keckeisen?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
2x4 or a switchblade.
Yeah.
That's what my old JV coach used to say when he was, it was a guy that had no chance against like a state champ or whatever.
Sounds like he just called Dresser a JV coach.
No, I brought up this
crazy.
as a joke before. People are like, oh, it sounds like your coach is discouraging everybody and saying bad stuff. No, he's letting them move because these JV guys, this is the exact same thing, but younger wrestlers in high school are scared to wrestle these big state champs. It's like, oh, well, you have a chance. A girder could fall from the sky and hurt him. And,
Yeah.
it's a joke.
Great coach.
Great coach. 2 great coaches.
2 excellent coaches. #1.
So, yeah, that is a good duel. What are the biggest
Downey, Chittum,
that's the match, right?
Pinheiro, Real Budo, Happelfrost, Keckeisen, Bachman, which we already talked about. We already previewed that one.
You and I definitely the favorites on paper.
For
right?
sure. Yeah. I don't know, Tyler, if you want to pull up the wrestle stat, see what they have it. But, I mean, Northern Iowa is they're an incredible dual team this year. I think we have them ranked 4th, maybe, behind Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're an awesome dual team. Iowa State, man, their lineup, guys in and out with injuries and everything, haven't really seen them full strength this year. They can win this duel, but it's gonna be uphill for them.
They need to make hay in the lightweights. They need to win 25-33 somehow. 41's going to be tough. They need like Real Budo to beat Pinheiro or Chittum to beat Downey, which is possible. Or Pinheiro to beat Real Budo, excuse me. But yeah, it's going to be the back half's tough. And then when you have Keckeisen, who is very rude out there, scores all kinds of points. He pins people. It's embarrassing. So that'll make it pretty tough. But they got an 18-6 for for Northern Iowa.
No, 24 to
24
6.
Wow. Yeah, Herrera's tough. He's done a great job filling in for Younger. But Runyon is the best story about going up, starting at 165 his true freshman year, and now he's at heavyweight, beating, about to qualify for the NCAAs and taking on other guys.
Tyler was a 65-pounder. What if he moved up to heavyweight?
Yeah.
He's got the frame.
You do have the frame.
I have the frame.
We already established you're taller than Christian, so
That's true. Much taller
I
than
don't think we've established that.
We've established that I'm much taller than you.
yeah.
You
the
have
same
gone out of
height.
your way to establish that you are probably taller than Jordan Burroughs.
Well, no, Tyler's the same height as Jordan Burroughs.
Oh, give me. Then I'm the same height as Jordan Burroughs. And you can draw whatever conclusions about wrestling based on those facts.
Okay.
I am the same height as Jordan Burroughs and Tyler Meister. I don't care how
The
tall.
funniest part was when someone was trying to say who had better wingspan, longer wingspan.
Oh, gosh.
Two of us, and we just went chest to chest and started
Nose to nose, nose to nose.
hitting our arms.
Let's figure it out.
I mean,
That was
that's
that
the
was a
purest,
great moment.
That's the purest
How else
way.
would you do it?
Trey was like, "You guys want to kiss?"
No, we're in the heat of battle. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get up over two bills.
Yeah. How close are you?
See, get to north of 2 biscuits. You'll love it up there.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Man.
You're going to like the way you feel.
Yeah, I was just
Plus
about to
200.
say, you'd probably feel terrible.
Yeah.
No, getting there would feel fun. Being there, not as much fun.
So yeah, I don't know. The path is pretty treacherous for Iowa State to run down UNI. It's a really good team, and they wrestle well in these dual meets.
Where's this duel at? Is it in?
McLeod.
Okay.
UNI.
Cool.
You're not as familiar with the arena names.
Tyler knew.
I had the schedule pulled up.
Yeah.
Cedar Falls, Iowa. What a great...
Hometown.
I know I talk about Iowa just being like a great state for wrestling because it's a foreign land to me from New Jersey, and just seeing a state like that embrace the sport is awesome. But look at the teams. Look at the college teams that you have out there. 3 teams, and now they're having this big duel. And if you live, with 2-3 hour drive, I'm told in the Midwest that 2-3 hour drive is no big deal. So get your butts over to the arena.
Yeah. I would drive. Yeah, that's one thing. I love living here in Austin, Texas. But it would be awesome to live in like wrestling country.
If you live
It's
in
kind of a dream.
Yeah, and Iowa sells out now, but you can get tickets. You can find tickets. So you got your choice. You got 3 big-time D1 programs with big-time D1 talent. You guys are spoiled. You don't know how good you have it right now.
Yeah, you really don't. I remember I went there for Iowa, Penn State, and then I watched Lisbon versus Don Bosco was like the number 1 and 2 teams in Iowa that year. And so I went to that duel like the night before, and it was awesome. And then I went to, I mean, it's just great. Y'all got it good.
This is great.
Living on the East Coast is great too, though, as someone who did, because you can drive to kind of everything.
Yeah, having a dense state like New Jersey, you have wrestling clubs all over the place. It is easier to get, you can get to Lehigh, you can get to the city and everything else like that. But it wasn't the same.
Let's pull up a map. Let's get Spago.
You know what? Let's get there.
Yeah.
All right.
But that would be a fun, like, this is a summer idea.
I just Googled map.
map.
I mean, Google famously has its own
Yeah.
map.
All right.
But like, just like put a point in the world where you want to live as a like to maximize your wrestling fandom, like and like state your case for that location.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's the best place for a wrestling fan to live?
Let's table that for like June, July,
Okay.
after Final X when we're in the.
It's got to be the Northeast, right? If in terms of
no spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
You're
wasting
gonna
all
end
the
up
good
saying
chat.
San Clemente. It's like, dude, my club was right here.
You can surf and then go right to the wrestling
Skate.
room.
This is all skatable.
No D1 programs, but
You could ski, skate, surf, and wrestle all in one day.
Look at Fort Dodge, Dirty Dodge.
Okay.
All right, good map talk.
Map talk.
Map talk online.
we didn't even talk about it. But
That's our new. That's our new.
talk.
good.
Online.
That's our new vertical. Map talk online.
Get an almanac going for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Are we going to see, this is a good segue here. Are we going to see AJ Ferrari wrestle a top, 5, 6 ranked wrestler this weekend? Is
Little, yeah.
Stephen Little. He has the potential. Their teams are going to wrestle.
Yes.
Are we going to see AJ?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Fast Twitch. He's on the gram, but I don't know. You don't get any updates on like, you see him in the weight room and he's, slamming up some chest flies, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
No intel there. I hope so. You need to see. I planted the flag, AJ NCAA champion this year, and the flag's still there, but I'm holding it.
Yeah.
It's windy. And there's a lot of forces trying to get the flag out of my hands. And at some point, these forearms, powerful as they may be, are going to run out of the strength to hang on, and I'm going to have to plant another flag at 197. But that day has not yet arrived. Look at this guy.
He did just hit a new PR on dumbbell incline bench press. So if we want to pull that in, you can see it's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
130 pounds.
Are you
for 2.5
supposed to
reps.
go all the way down?
No, you definitely don't want to go all the way down.
No,
that
a lot
makes
of
it way
LB.
harder.
The number one rule of weightlifting is you do not want full range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I've been doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's listening to.
Yeah, the abs are really pumped after that.
Spade just interested in his music choice.
I mean, it's got to be.
Fort Minor, remember?
It's got to
the
be
name.
Mr. Fast Twitch.
oh yeah, the
by
song.
TP and Esco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be I just got Fort Minor on the mind.
Just on repeat over and over.
Yeah.
No, I know we were joking, but that was really impressive. He said I only go to the 90-degree joint angle.
Oh,
As it's, I guess it's explained in the video.
okay.
It's in the caption.
There we go.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, no matter what you're doing, if you're moving it even this much, you're
Yeah.
doing something.
Yeah.
Something's working.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better on your shoulder as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put those weights like in my hands and most people's, it would just be like, oh crap, and then it would fall right to you would.
What's the most you
hyperextend your elbows? Yeah.
All right. What's the most you
mean,
could
you
do on dumbbell incline bench?
Me?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, just guess. Throw it out there, then we'll go downstairs and try it.
All right.
that's what we need. We
use
need
a good
all of us
workout.
to try to do the things that AJ does as like reference, is like so you can see how
Yeah.
impressive it is.
Like for the Olympics or whatever, it's
Yeah.
like have a normal person walk on the balance beam and then show the gymnastics side of it, or a side-by-side race.
That's a bad example because that gymnastics stuff is not hard.
Yeah, good point. I mean, it just roll out of bed.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But on the AJ note, Tanner Huffman asked, we'll get ahead of the questions a little bit. He said, if AJ Ferrari wins out, what's his seed at NCAA's look like? Should the Big Ten champ be the number one seed at NCAA's regardless of a loss or two?
Well, I think if you want my guess,
Give me AJ's wrestle stat.
I think Buchanan's going to win out and get the one, and that means Barr and Cardenas will take an additional loss at some point. So I think he's got a great shot at the two if he's undefeated, if he wins the conference, if he notches the little win and whatnot. I think that would probably be enough to put him ahead of the. Whether you like it or not, fair or not, schedules matter in my opinion. But I'm just predicting how I think it would go, and I think AJ would get the two.
He would have to drop in the coaches poll to like 6 or something to make up for the fact that he'd win the winning percentage, RPI, assuming he's got the most. I think it will. The conference, those are all head-to-head things when you
Right.
do the rankings formula,
And then
for the seeding formula, I should say.
incline dumbbell is like the tiebreaker.
At this point, Stemet is his best win. I think we have Stemet in like the high teens right now, and he's only beaten 2 other ranked wrestlers. But I think the good news for wrestling fans is like Pac-12 is really good at 197.
Yes.
You got Stephen Little
Munoz.
and Trey Munoz, who is back.
Oh, he is?
He wrestled last week. So yeah, I mean he'll wrestle one of those 2 guys at PAX. It'd be nice if he could wrestle both of them. But yeah, if he wins out, I think he is a deserved number 2.
Yeah.
If Buchanan goes undefeated.
True. So who's doing Pac-12? You're not going, are you?
No.
Me and
Aren't you?
Sweet Prince. Yeah, I'm going.
Is David
Me,
going?
Debray, and Connor, who filmed with AJ Ferrari already.
They're already boys.
They're already boys. I got to end with the AJ. We're going to Pac-12s and then Big Tens. This is like a mega week, and Caleb's coming the whole time.
Oh, yeah, because Pac-12 ends on Friday, right?
It ends Thursday.
Oh, right. It's one day, so it's just Thursday.
Yep.
You and AJ squash the beef?
There's no beef. It's a one-sided beef. He's the butcher in this situation.
Yeah. Every now one side flares up, and then it goes away. And then
Yeah.
No, you're gonna go there,
Dude.
and you're gonna be friends.
I'm ready for that to happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen.
It's gonna happen.
AJ, I mean, he is a super positive person when you meet him.
Yes.
When you meet him, and
That has been every experience I've ever had with AJ in person. Actually, one time he said, "Stop hating on me" at the Olympic trials. But then I don't know how I hated. But But then after that, we had, years of.
People love chirping you at the Olympic trials.
They do. They do for things I'm always confused. Yeah. I was in Jarrett JQ's crosshairs at the Olympic trials of 2024 for reasons I don't know. And that's okay. And then I was in AJ's in 2021.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Nah, you guys are going to be best friends.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Okay. Some other good matches this weekend. Nasir Bailey versus Seth Romney.
Will it happen?
Part 2.
Romney's been out or missed. And now Nasir looks like he's kind of getting, we'll see. But, dominating Reese Whitcraft that's good evidence for Nasir, who has not been, he hasn't.
First semester.
First semester was rough. I mean, he's got the Borman loss. I think we got him a little too high in the rankings, to be honest. But
Nasir?
yes, I think at this point, guys like Braxton Brown and others could be ahead of him. But
Zeth did wrestle a week ago or like a week and a half ago.
yeah, I think so. I think he missed a duel. So we'll see. This is one of these coaches get a little sneaky sometimes. They're like, oh, we already got the win over this dude. Maybe we're just not. But it doesn't really matter because they're Pac-12s anyway, so they're going to see each other again.
And they should both get at large, assuming, right?
What?
If they don't get one of the spots for Pac-12s.
Well, they're both going to earn
Do they have to win?
They're not going to have to win.
Right. So there's no point in holding it back for seeding or whatever.
Yeah.
What's going on with Pac-12s this year? Because Stanford is not in.
They're in the
They're
ACC.
the
Of course. Well, yeah. Now they're on the Atlantic coast.
Yes.
Forgot they moved.
I said this yesterday. Everyone laughs at that, but literally all the oceans touch. So the Pacific Ocean is the Atlantic Ocean.
It's the world ocean.
Yes.
So but I thought, didn't you have to have a minimum amount of schools?
Yeah, they have it this year.
They have an exemption.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Big 12 had it at one point before they took on all their affiliates, and it was down to just 4 teams.
There were some years where Big 12 didn't have the exemption or whatever.
Yeah,
and they
like-
would do the conference, and I remember Pirate would always make some joke about it, like John Smith has 0 NCAA qualifiers after the Big 12 tournament because
They all have to be at
they all
large.
had to be.
Okay.
And so I'm saying if they're saying sometimes sit out, we already have the win, that'll help our seed for the conference tournament. It's like, well, let them wrestle because they're all both going to get at larges anyway.
Yeah. They're both going to qualify.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant.
I know that's not what you were saying.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for saying that.
We've all said our piece.
Ethan Miller, Joey Blaze. Is this going to decide the top seed at 157?
Well, I don't think Blaze would get it if he won, but I think he would disqualify Miller from being the 1 seed if he beat him, right?
Okay.
So,
And everybody would have one.
yeah.
I mean, Teamer can't be the 1 seed, right?
I would not think
He's
so.
3 and 2.
E-T-E-H-E-N. He's searching
E-N.
Ethan.
2 E's in that, Ethan.
Gotcha.
There he is.
So, a lot of, he's had a good schedule. Of course, the KSAC thing, would love to have seen how that match would have played out. Unfortunate with the injury. But yeah, look at Blaze's year real quick. Because if he wins, I don't know. You could just click his name just for a few.
You know what?
He was out for a minute after, I don't know,
He
CKLV.
lost to Downey, Fish. Oh, not really Fish. Ethan Miller. So he hadn't really lost.
Oh, they already wrestled. Huh.
I touched on that, Smay. Okay. So that's a big match.
Yeah. A couple other good ones going down. Pitt, Virginia Tech. It's going to be a fun duel. Stanford, NC State. It's going to be a good one as well. A couple matches there I think worth talking about. TJ Stewart. Is TJ Stewart back?
Who knows?
He's got Reese Heller. And then Big Jim Mullen, Dayton Pitzer. Those will be some good matches.
That'll be a good one. Pitzer lost to Neves, which surprised me a
Surprising.
little bit.
That was a crazy match.
Oh, was it?
It came down to heavyweight, and what was it? Pitt was up by 3. UNC needed not just the victory, the upset there, but they also needed to score more points to get the tiebreaker. They needed to win by like 5 or win by 3 or something like that, and then Neves won by 5.
Wow.
So one of the tiniest margins of error you can win by.
It was like 14-9 too.
Yeah, going back and forth. So very gutsy, and that was hopefully that sparks some more Tar Heel fans down there in Tobacco Road.
Yeah, nowhere to go but up from where it was. Okay, so that's a good one. Yeah, I mean for TJ, yeah, he can get himself back in the rankings picture. Virginia Tech needs him. I mean, Virginia Tech still has a really good team. They put it all together, but they need contribution from TJ Stewart. Excited for that Mullen match. Singleton versus Norman in the NC State Stanford one. I mean, Norman is someone who we were talking about a lot earlier in the year, and now it's like Stanford hit a part of his schedule where he's just not in the conversation. But that day is coming back when we're going to start talking about Lorenzo Norman again, just how good he is.
Yeah, and then at 33, Kai Orini versus Tyler Knox.
Yep.
Good one.
Someone put in the chat, I haven't seen the chat in a little bit, but the Knox Ayala was kind of a bigger story, but even then, the fact that it's like a, that's maybe one of the bigger upsets. Like, yeah, it's not been a very crazy year at all. Okay.
Can I make a suggestion for a duel to tune into this weekend?
Do it.
How about America's duel? Army versus Navy. The stakes are super high. That's, NCAAs are still the most important thing, but that's also their Super Bowl for their rivalry. It's all over both campuses. It says beat Army in Annapolis, and it says beat Navy everywhere in West Point. And there's some pretty good wrestlers. Each team is like, there's no weak spots. They have great depth. There's no roster limits. There's no nothing down there. They coach them up there. Colette and Navy and Coach Ward in Army. And they all have real tough dudes. Coder Hunt for Navy is a guy to watch. Filipowicz at Army is a guy to watch. And I think Wask for Navy and Dalton Harkins for Army at 174 is going to be a really fun battle between two experienced guys. They could both qualify most of their rosters at EIWAs. I think they'll earn a lot of qualifying spots for that conference.
I want to see Coderhant do the thing where guys single leg him. He just picks them up and throws them down. He just kind of slams them a couple times.
Yeah, create some space, a little extra maneuverability.
That's pretty hardcore. No, it's going to be a great duel. Excited to hear that they're selling a lot of tickets. I'm sure it's going to be really intense. If you're looking for entertaining, competitive duel meet, that could definitely go either way. You're not going to want to miss this one.
Yeah, they
fun programs.
Great to visit that campus too if you ever get a chance. It's at West Point where they're selling all the tickets.
I feel like
record
that's
numbers.
like really right up your alley.
It's like an outdoor museum half the time. They got the Hudson Valley. It's one of the most beautiful landscapes you've ever seen. Annapolis is great too, great town, real historic there too. But West Point is just like you're walking through just American history and all the people, the generals throughout time that have gone through there. It's a really impressive institution. They both are.
Soprano wanted to go there.
AJ
He would have been a great candidate.
Yeah, he had to work on those grades a little bit.
And everything else about him.
Yeah. But he turned out to a great movie producer. He, worked on the set of Cleaver too.
Yeah, for sure. Great movie. All right, and there, look at this guy on his map.
Pulling up the map. Yeah, see, I told you.
Right on the river.
Guys love pulling up maps and just noodling around.
Look at it.
You were talking about the geography, so I had to pull it in.
Yeah, the Hudson River, and technically it's a tidal estuary all the way up to that point.
Dude, all right, go back to the chat real quick because it's egg all over this chatter's face that said that. Hold on, let's find it. I'm surprised Spade didn't straighten CP out on his facts of oceanography. Maybe it's a weak area for him.
Oh, well.
Wow.
Yeah, Taste it. How does it taste?
Yeah, how's that taste? Peter James, definite real name. What would have been straightened out about what I said? All the oceans do touch.
Yeah, that was also true. There was nothing to correct you there.
Yeah,
it was a good point, I thought.
Go back to school, Peter. Or maybe you're in school, so pay attention.
Yeah, Peter, get off the chat. No, don't get off the chat. Stay on the chat. Keep those numbers going.
Peter, come back. We're kidding. We're kidding.
Great navigable river on the East Coast.
It's the tidal estuary, I believe.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man, that got me.
Cool.
This is Space Show. Yeah. two maps.
Map Talk Online.
Map Talk Online. I heard the trivia talk you were saying yesterday. I all of a sudden felt I had to prove myself now.
Yeah. Yeah. How about I think it's more likely I would win as a national champion.
Coach
than beat you in trivia.
Well, it definitely depends on the trivia too. Like,
yeah.
Like if it's like, I don't know, whatever.
Well, the problem is you have way more knowledge than me about things I don't care about. And then the things I care about, you have decent knowledge.
Yeah.
You have elite knowledge.
When I forget what the NCAA. Oh, it was Pittsburgh. When you and Willie went back and forth a million times, we were trying to have like a general like trivia question. Somebody just brought up the brackets, and we just started debating each other.
Oh yeah.
And then it just became like just a one-on-one battle because no one else was coming close to getting the answers.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's even though I was doing the rankings back then, it's like, all right, CP, just buzzing in, getting all the
I
answers.
got this one.
Whereas JD would call you Rain Man.
Rain Man. Yeah, definitely Gregor Gillespie.
Yeah. All right. We talked a little bit, Leono, February 26th.
Do you think Tom and Terry ever switch roles like the Prestige?
Yes, I think they did. Well, in order for that to be true,
That's a chatter question.
in order for that to be true, they would have had to pretend that there was only one of them for their entire lives.
Oh, and then
Right?
Prestige, the other one.
Yeah.
Prestige me.
Which that would be an excellent thing to do in the wrestling world if you had twins and it was just one, because then one guy
Oh.
could just stay heavy, right?
The twin.
That's been theorized.
Yeah.
That would be so hard to get them both like trained up to that level. Like you have to keep it a secret to all their practice partners.
Yeah. Great strategy.
I think the Steiners are only one.
How are they split that up?
I've chosen FRL to reveal that, but I've never been able to even come close to telling them apart. And I don't think there's many times I've seen them in the same place together. So
It's a parent
Troy or
swap,
Terry, whichever one you are, I'm onto this little game.
a parent trap situation.
It could be a parent trap, except they were twins too. But yeah, they did a switcheroo.
Well, I'm thinking of the Lindsay Lohan version.
she played both twins.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. Unlike Mary Kate and Ashley,
Yeah.
who I don't think we're in parent trap.
Yeah, you're thinking of the Disney one that's
Yeah.
like even that's the old.
Oh
it would be
yeah,
on,
the
like,
old one. That's the one I saw.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm old. Okay, good.
Takes Two is the Mary Kate and Ashley one.
That's right.
I just watched that a couple months ago.
I want to say that
Serious.
I don't have the Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen trivia to match either of you guys.
Yeah, well.
So that's where I get beat.
Yeah.
He's got 4 little girls.
4 daughters.
So yeah, he's just now entering.
Yeah.
A lot of Megan.
Well, the one time, Tom and Terry have used the twin thing to their advantage, at least because Terry tells a story about getting pulled over, but he had Tom's. Oh yeah, Peter James was actually back in our good graces reciting this story as well. But he got pulled over and he had Tom's ID.
Right.
And that was right after he didn't make the Olympic team.
Yeah,
right?
and then the Tom,
And the cop brings it up.
cop's like, yeah, let me
geez.
bring this up.
Thinking he's talking to Tom.
Yeah, it's Terry.
Yeah.
But I can tell them apart very easily. me-
How? Explain.
I just think they look different. I literally think they look different.
Okay. There you go.
That's how I know that Terry and Troy are the same.
Because you cannot tell.
If I can't tell apart,
Yeah.
it's basically like, all right, is this person wearing a USA wrestling jacket? Okay, great, I got Terry.
Yeah, or Minnesota.
Yeah,
It's
Minnesota.
the same person. He just alternates shirts.
Yeah, they just have
Use
different
everybody.
shirts. It's very easy.
You can have more than one shirt.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me who's who in this picture.
Terry on the right, Tom on the left.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I also knew that.
You could do this. Yeah. Now, if you go, I will say this: the younger pictures of him, like when they're like children from Terry, is like, oh,
Who's the guy on the left behind Tom?
that's Jerry Brands.
Oh.
Is that Sion in the background there? I don't think so.
Doubt it.
No.
It could be. Sion,
Who's who here? That's just a fun picture.
Tom on the left, Terry on the right.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's another thing. They always sit like that too.
What about in the singlets up there?
Go to the singlet picture.
Oh, let me X this one out.
This is fun exercise.
That is hard.
I think this is
That's Tom.
Tom, Terry. Yeah.
Tom on right, Terry on left.
Okay.
They switch, but it doesn't. To me, it's nothing.
This is kind of a fun game.
I like it. I like it because it's like, all right, CP, you can always tell them apart. Let's
It's
put them
great
next
for
to each
the-
other and dress them the same.
It's great for the Spotify listeners too.
Yeah. This is.
Well, listen, it's just to encourage you to watch the video version.
Yeah.
It is a video podcast. If we're gonna film the thing, we should have a video element.
Spotify.
You know, with Joe Rogan, he pulls up. Hey, Jamie, pull up the the tidal estuaries of the Hudson Valley.
That would be a great podcast, a whole episode.
Me personally, it's never. I
Pictures
listen to
taken in the
podcasts.
Foxcatcher room. It's just, that didn't age well.
I listen to podcasts sometimes, and I appreciate the imagination. It's like
Yeah.
kind of like listening to an audiobook. We're describing it.
We're describing.
You can
They're
fill in
both
the
in
blanks.
USA singlets.
Yeah.
You know what they look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gable's behind them. You could picture what they're doing.
Do one more. Do one more.
So one more
If you
picture.
can find one more.
Okay.
I had that singlet when I was like 5.
This is really
96
hard
USA.
Yeah.
because this is a profile shot.
I think it's-
Old,
I think it's-
black and
I
white,
think
high school.
Terry is on the left.
That's what I was gonna say.
Tom on right.
I'm on the
That's
right.
this is a tough one.
Little
You ever wonder if
different
they
smile.
don't know?
They look at this picture and they're like, I don't know who's who.
That would be kind of cool.
We should ask them.
Imagine not even knowing yourself.
Well, isn't that a thing with that's like a joke? I don't know. I've seen it in like movies where you have babies and then they like one of the parents like mixes them up and now they don't know which one is which. Like they've named them, but if you forget what
You can
what
mix
clothes
up
you
the
put 'em in.
twins. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you just start calling one that you meant to call the other one the wrong name for the rest of their lives, and no one ever knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much though.
Who cares?
What if one name is good and the other one's
If you make that mix up early on, it's like okay, well now you just trade.
yeah, they traded.
All right. We can move on.
Yeah, that's great.
That was
Okay.
Twin talk, good segment.
Sorry if we went too long on that.
Yeah.
audience.
Okay. So we talked Leo Ono, February 26th, right? But that's not going to be the only international wrestling going on February 26th. And 27th, the second ranking series tournament is going to be in Albania. And
Albania.
we got some heat. It looks like Russia's sending a lot of their top guys. USA, we're sending some.
Some.
But yeah, Kyle Snyder's going as he goes to every international wrestling
Every
tournament he
tournament.
can
Loves
go
to
to.
wrestle.
Love it.
Originally, Sajalayev was in the entries,
But no more.
but no more.
Darn.
He probably saw Kyle in her.
At what weight?
97.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he's going back up. I wish he had. I don't know what I wish. I kind of want to see him go 97 again and see the Taz. Like knowing Sajalayev's got to be trained. Like I got to beat Tazudinov. Like seeing that arc come full circle, I think is.
Do they train in the same room?
I doubt much anymore.
Okay.
I doubt it.
Um,
Yeah, but 97 is still going to be pretty tough. Galej is there, who Kyle Snyder had a really close match with a couple years back at Worlds, and then Sakulov, Akhturk, Batsayev. It's a whole, it's a whole really deep bracket. There's about 19, 20 guys entered, and then 74 is going to be really loaded.
I like those entries.
Mm-hmm.
Got my guy Big Salk Kazanov, Slovakia by way of Osetia. Amami, the
Kaipanov.
Iranian. What's that? Kaipanov.
Just won Worlds at 70 kilos.
yeah.
Dibergaziev. Didn't he win Russian Nationals?
Dibergaziev, he took second to Sidakov.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what of Sidakov? Do we believe he's going to wrestle?
I think he's going to go to Euros.
Okay.
That's in April.
Yeah,
Could
March or April. Yeah, it's usually when Euros is. But
Looking
yeah,
forward to it.
74 is and Quincy Monday is there for Team USA, so it'll be a really good test for him. We just saw Big Salk beat David Carr.
Yeah.
In a match where it wasn't really that close for David.
I think our team's going to be super interesting this year. I think a lot of changes. Yeah, it's going to be different. 74, I think Dake's moving up. I don't know. He hasn't said nothing factual.
You think he's going to go 79 or 86?
I don't know. I think he should go. I think 79 is probably his best weight, but I think he'd probably.
Bro, what if we get Dake Burrows at the U.S. Open this year?
I think Jordan's done.
Really?
Anyone think Jordan Burroughs is still a wrestler?
I do.
You do.
I will always think it in my heart.
Well, he is a wrestler forever, but like, is he still competing? I don't know.
Man, it just
He can't. But at the same time, it can't end in Albania, bro.
yeah.
That's
what I was
it.
gonna
Would have
say.
been a great place for it to end, but it didn't. It didn't end right. He's got to get. He needs a moment. It's but this is wrestling. It's just this way.
Yeah. Yeah, not scripted.
Yeah.
But I agree. I'd love nothing more than like a huge triumphant. I mean, that's what we're all talking about over and over.
Dake go 86, Burrows 79. They go out as teammates one last time.
Why did that rhyme?
I don't want them wrestling each other and yelling at each other on this show or other shows.
That sounded like a nursery rhyme, so people are going to tell in 20 years.
I hope they do.
Dake went 86, Burrows went 79. They both went as teammates one last time.
It's true. Print it. Make it so. I rhymed it. Now it's just up to those two to. But then you've got this guy in Stillwater named Zahid Valencia.
Yeah.
Probably wants to make the team.
Yeah.
He's gonna be tough to unseat.
Dake's beaten him before.
He has.
Mm-hmm.
That was a long time ago
Yeah.
for both. Really. I mean, that's not.
That was also at 79.
That was Dake's first team.
Man. Yeah, we really haven't heard from Jordan since Worlds, right? Like,
No. Try as we might.
Some interesting entries for U.S. at 70. They had Green, right, back at it, and then Yaya
and Luan.
and Will Luan. So
Where's Duke Mafia?
PJ?
Probably wrestling like
Probably in high school.
cool. Yeah.
He's in Minnesink Valley.
New York State tournament, probably.
In sectionals right now.
Yeah.
And then Marsteller's still wrestling up at 86. Ramazanov, the Olympic champ, is in the field for Albania. So they wrestled, when was it? A year ago? And I think Ramazanov teched him in the first.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's
Very
good.
good.
All right. Well, looking forward to that. Should be good. Should we do questions now? We could scroll through the chat briefly.
Yeah.
This Jay Bell wants to know if there's anything to the rumors of Ono potentially wrestling for Penn State next year.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I would not rule it out. Certainly, he'd be a good addition. I think. Yeah, I think there's probably. I don't know if that's what Ono would want to do. It seemed like he may. Obviously, Penn State would love him, right? Why would you not want that guy around or on your team? I don't know the complications with, getting, foreign wrestlers with super limited English, like how that would play a factor there. I don't know if it's something they're pursuing or not. And I know that he's planning on leaving in March and going back to Japan. So I don't.
That'd be the biggest impediment if he was living in Japan.
That makes it tough.
It'd be tough.
Yeah, second semester. Move to America.
He's a commuter.
I don't think it's happening.
All right. Should we move on to Twitter?
Sure.
Okay. Slink wants to know who's the best postseason or when the lights are on wrestler of all time.
In college?
Ooh, yes.
Let's just do college.
It says postseason.
Let's just do college. Jay Jaggers was definitely a lights on guy.
Jaggers is the first guy I thought of, and then Mark Branch. Didn't he win after getting super low seeds?
Yeah, he was like 7-12 or something in one NCAAs.
That's pretty good. A lesser-known Michigan man, perhaps, is Connor Utzi, who went into NCAA 2 years in a row with a losing record in
I'm
All-American.
gonna go ahead and place now. Who else was just? You're just thinking of someone else maybe up and down during the Quentin Wright was definitely one where it's like, okay, he's seated wherever, and then he won. He was their only national champion for Penn State in 2011. Wow, the first year they won in Philadelphia, where we will be going in several months. So he's one that comes to mind for sure. Who else? Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, Rain
Kyle
Man.
Dake for sure.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Right, he would take losses and then at NCAAs. Well, not his last 2 years, but
No, but he did prove that winning EIWAs is tougher than winning the NCAAs.
he did prove that. So those are my contributions.
All right, Slink again said, what state tournament do you look forward to the most?
Virginia.
But we all just laughed at him.
Well,
It's funny about
they
that.
split it up into so many divisions. That's why I think there's like a clear hierarchy of some of the best high school tournaments. The ones that are great for the fans, and now you have Pennsylvania and Iowa are multiple divisions, but they're so deep and good that they are spectacles. They're events. They bring out the fans. Everybody looks forward to them. New Jersey and California on either coast, they're one division. They do a great job. I think those are awesome tournaments. Indiana being single class is also up there, except their qualifying system's a little wonky. I might iron that out a little bit if I remember, if it's still the way that I think it is. And then the other states, I think they start splitting up too many divisions to make them as fun as for, like spectators or fans or people covering the sport.
Speak for yourself.
Illinois is really good.
We're only like a year or two away from me really knowing a lot about Texas high school. It's coming. I'm already.
Guys, it's getting tough.
Yeah, no, but I'm just going to start knowing a lot about it just because Caleb's going to be in high school.
And he's going to start going through like brackets and stuff and knowing everybody and what town and where the good wrestlers are.
He might, yeah. I hope not. I have to keep him off track wrestling.
Really?
Yes. This happened. He was wrestling in a tournament this year.
Lone Star Nationals.
It was one of his many national tournaments that he's competed in. And he didn't want to go under this kid that I knew he would get away from because he had looked up that this kid had wrestled someone he knew, one of his training partners, and wrote him out. And that put it in his head that he wouldn't be able to get away. And he like gave me this look, and I was like, "You're not looking this stuff up anymore." Okay, all right, you're right. 'Cause I put him down, he got away. Anyways, you can't look this stuff up because he's too analytical. He thinks about all this nonsense, and he's
Back in the day when you had to look at the newspaper, like the Star Ledger, and all you had were the box scores, and it's like, all right, I know everybody. The name and the town of everybody that weighs 174 pounds, basically in New Jersey at 1 year, but you don't really know anything beyond that. And then you look at some brackets and stuff. Not like they got now, where I would have been just as bad.
Yeah, I was looking up. I'll just be transparent. I was looking up like the lightweight brackets, like the state, because Caleb's gonna be small those first couple of years, and then I was seeing like what did the state qualifiers like? How are they doing? What was their kind of path? Just to kind of see like where these guys were there like last year of youth wrestling. Like I'm just curious where is he gonna fit in the thing? So I'm learning a lot.
You don't know where Caleb gets us over analytics.
But I keep it all in here. I'm not talking with him about this. I'm just keeping it here. Like, okay, we're on the right track.
Oh man, that was good.
Yeah, I don't know where he gets it either.
I personally,
it's not that in depth. That's just like, all right, what's it like here? I'm just trying to know.
I look forward to the California State Wrestling Tournament. 40-man brackets, one state tournament, one champ to rule them all.
That's true.
I'm also excited. I'm going to the New Jersey State Championships this year. I'm excited for that.
Ooh, they still at Boardwalk Hall?
I don't know.
You're in Atlantic City, right?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. No, that's a great venue for it. Atlantic City could be kind of rough. It's got some charm, but not the tourist destination.
My second ever work trip with Flo was to Atlantic City with Spay.
Oh yeah,
They died.
That's
one of Space's many deaths.
That's when I still had a gallbladder, but it was in the process of failing.
Trying to take you
I
out.
was trying to kill it. It was like I'm gonna beat the sun to the battle of who gets to kill Spay, my own gallbladder or the sun.
It had an evil cackle too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler just thought Spay was just pathetic. He's like, dude, it's my first trip with this guy. He's just.
Oh, he can't help himself. He's at the casino. He calls in sick for the first day. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna make it. But I was just doubled over in pain, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then 1 week later, no more gallbladder.
Oh, it took some time.
No, it took time.
It was
really he's like, yeah, I think it's under control now. This was a couple of weeks, and then.
Well, I kept going. They kept saying it was other stuff. I thought I had an ulcer. I thought it was like a heart thing or whatever.
Quit drinking.
It was. You could have been any number of problems of my life and my incredible lifestyle. But then after I got the surgery, my parents were like, oh yeah, I think everybody over the age of 50 at your family had their gallbladder taken out. And I'm like, well, information I could have used a little earlier.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Virginia is for FRL said, now that we have some time to let the 3-point takedown settle in, what do you think about the 3-point reversal?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, do it. I didn't understand, and even when it was kind of explained, it was like, well, we wanted to keep something the same so as not to confuse or whatever. I don't remember what the explanation was, but yeah, just change it.
Yeah, I think it'd be fine. I do like, Ben brought up like just it being an odd number and stuff like that.
It adds more like weirdness to it, which is kind of interesting. So I don't hate having the 2-point reversal. It doesn't make me mad when I see it, but I'm also like, we could change it now, right?
No, it's just as you think about awarding points based on like how difficult it is, going from bottom to top, you would think is at least as difficult as going from neutral to on top.
Right.
Therefore, yeah, I'm cool with 3. I'm not pounding the tables for it.
Yeah.
I guess the only difference that it does make is like if you get reversed, and you're like, all right, well, just get an escape. It's basically the same thing,
Which I think is dumb.
Giving up a reversal or giving up an escape. And then I think the other part of it too is like if you want to incentivize trying to work for a turn, trying to take risks on top, then giving up a reversal isn't as bad as giving up a takedown. I
like it because sometimes you have guys fight so hard for reversals that like end up being worthless, or like I don't know. I think it would make
exactly right.
It would make more sense for people to fight for reversals than it does now. If
true.
It was worth 3 points.
It's when like a guy stands and then immediately goes in for like a double, and it's like if he had just pushed the guy away a little bit and then gone in for the double, then you would get the escape and the 3 rather than just the 2, and then the guy escapes and now it's only worth 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Next question. This must be from an Oklahoma State fan. They said, what are some class of 2027 prospects Oklahoma State fans should keep their eyes on that could end up in Stillwater?
Certainly Ignacio Villaseñor, who is in Stillwater as we speak. Melvin's the number 1. Obviously, he's going to be an Iowa lean.
He's 20. Is he 26 though?
7.
He's 27.
Bo's 26.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I got the top 10 right here.
So that's who comes to mind, I think. It depends.
You want anyone on this list?
Largely depends on, how do they do with, if they get the Rainies, that changes your lightweight recruiting maybe to a degree. Or if you don't, then, it all.
They're kind of middleweight heavy right now, right? Oklahoma State. With their recruits coming in.
With Jackson,
Vega, Lockett,
Robidoux, yeah.
What weight do you think Lockett will be, though?
I think he's at 65 right now. I thought he was. Well, we'll see. He could grow, but feels like he's maybe leveled off a little bit. Maybe he's going to be a 65, 74. I thought he could maybe be an 84, which would be scary.
Yeah.
It'll be scary.
But really, I think they need the lightweights. They need the heavyweights.
Yeah. Well, they got Merrill.
They got Drayshawn.
Merrill and Drayshawn.
So I think they're good.
They got a lot.
David, great news, David. You're good for a bet.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about being a fan of a team like Oklahoma State that recruits nationally and pretty much just look at the list. Just look at the big board. There you go.
I mean, it's kind of like Penn State had the number 1 class of 2025, and this in 2026, I don't know if they were in the top 10 for recruiting yet. And so it kind of makes sense when you get the number 1 class of one year, maybe you don't go as hard the year after.
For sure. Absolutely.
All right. Brendan Kelly, sorry, not Brandon, said, when is the next time we see a non-Pennsylvania, Iowa, Oklahoma State team champ, and who do you think it would be?
Man, I don't know.
Michigan?
It feels like a long way off before that's a reality. I can't even guess. I mean, you would say Ohio State because they're the team that's done it in the last 10 years.
And they had the Young Bucks recruiting class
But
a few years back.
When? I mean, it feels like no time soon.
Yeah, the pieces that you have to start building the foundation, and a lot of teams already have the stuff that you can't just buy off the shelf with the donor, the tradition, the fan bases, the schools, the commitment to wrestling, community support. You get all those, and then you're still looking at teams that are devoting so many resources to wrestling. Some Big Ten schools, a lot of them are next up. Maybe Iowa State, maybe Oklahoma potentially, but not putting a time frame on it.
Mm-hmm. I think Penn State fans would probably change this question, and rightfully so, to say,
Penn State.
when's the next time a team not Penn State is going to win? And I think that's even
still tough to say.
And
what I think people don't realize about Penn State in the current state is like, it feels like we're in this Cale Sanderson era, right? And it's from 2011 and now it's just been Cale win. But they've hit a new level. And I think they've raised the bar even higher. Like, think about 2020, 2021. I went into that lineup. Very, very different. You were recruiting with basically 9.9 high school wrestlers. That was how you were building your team. Now you have given Cale and company the more weapons with NIL and all this other stuff that it's just made it harder and harder. So while it's still the Cale Sanderson era, the bar is so much higher now than it was even 3-4 years ago. And that's what maybe people don't realize, just because it's like, yeah, Penn State's winning. They're going to keep winning. But, maybe no, it's harder than ever now to beat Penn State. And it's as great as Oklahoma State and Iowa are recruiting. You look at what they have this year, next year, and beyond with recruiting, not factoring in that they can plug holes. If they have a hole, if there is a weight like 84 was 2 years ago, Bernie Truex is going to call them, right? That guy exists. Now, are those wrestlers also going to call David Taylor and Tom Brands? Yes, of course. And, if they go in the portal, are they going to get calls? Yes, of course. But you can't, anytime a wrestler that can go from one team to another and you can end up on as Penn State's starter, like that's still going to be a big, big thing. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really, really tough to unseat Penn State.
It's just crazy because the narrative, 10 years ago was like, well, when Taylor and Ruth graduate, right? Like that's the joke now. But then it really is just like, it has just snowballed where it's like, you hear interviews with like Coach Sanderson where it's like, well, we're trying to get 10 NCAA champions.
Yeah.
It's like, man, he's really trying to do it. Like they're really, you know?
That's not just the easy answer to that question for every coach. That's like, I don't know, we got to do a few more things and we could get there. But you got to credit where credit's due. You have to, the question's a lot more interesting when you open it up, but no, Penn State is clearly far ahead and not a lot of light at the end of the tunnel.
All right. Next question from ICA. He said, where would the top 5 pound-for-pound high school wrestlers place at NCAAs this year? We got Blaze at 133, Jax at probably also 133, Duke at 157 or 65, Basset at 141 or 149, and Lockett at 165 or 174.
Blaze is top 3, I think. Top 2 or 3. Jax is probably right. And Jax could... Yeah, he's probably top 2 or 3. I think you would probably say a rung behind, by a rung, I mean like a place behind Blaze, just based on their meetings. But folk style can be a little different, although Blaze did beat them in their last folk style meeting. All that to say, I think they're both top 2 or 3. I could see them wrestling with Ryan Crookham, Drake Ayala, Lucas Bird, that coterie, that group. PJ Duke at 157. He's up there.
Duke Mafia.
Top 3, top 4 for sure. Tyler Kasek versus PJ Duke, Ja'Cory Deemer. These are really tight matches. He's in there with these guys. If he's at 65, not Mitchell, but could he go with a Kellyan? This guy is world class. He's a guy that's going to fight to make the senior world team this year. You're all going to see that, I believe. So he's up there. Bo Bassett, I think. Behind Jesse and Alirez, I think it's a tight one with Bo Bartlett and Brock Hardy versus Bo Bassett would be insane.
Feed families.
It would feed families. So I think Bo is top 3 or 4. I think that's a tougher weight. I think, if Blaze was in this weight, I'd put him in the same, kind of, it'd be a little bit tougher, but 33 is a little weaker than 41. 49, is Bo ready to beat Ridge Lovett? Kyle Parko? I don't know. These are questions I want to know the answer.
Very
right?
badly. Yeah, exactly.
I wish we could just simulate it. No. And D Lockett, I don't know if I talked about him. No, I haven't. He's probably not beating Mitchell, obviously, but anyone else, maybe he's in the mix. I think he's probably an AA. So I think all these guys would place.
I feel like I would put D as a finalist.
I don't know, man. Caliendo's really good. Bear Claw, riding. It's tough.
Yeah. The only other caveat I would say for the high school guys is just that matching up one-on-one or seeing them at the U.S. Open or a one-off tournament, I could definitely see them placing. But a whole season in college is a little bit different. The school, different environment, and a little bit more the weekend weigh-ins and everything. Different. They're not doing what these guys in college are doing right now yet. But as far as drop them all in a tournament next weekend, I don't disagree with anything anyone said.
All right. This next question is kind of fun. I did not know about this. A question asker said, can you tell us more about this event in 1995? And it's a Wikipedia entry. It says, on December 18th, a group of 18 British and Irish tourists who became drunk and rowdy had a food fight on a Northwest flight from London to Minneapolis, and they were restrained by members of the U.S. freestyle wrestling team who were also aboard. Do you guys know anything about this event?
Yeah, scroll down a little bit more. What I can tell you is that some members of the group supposedly dispatched their children to steal liquor from drink carts.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
that's another thing I could tell you about it.
I'm going to pull up the 1995 men's freestyle team so you can envision who was in restraining these people.
Tom and Terry Brand.
Dave Schultz would be very helpful in this situation. Tom, Terry, Kevin Jackson. Kurt Angle.
Bruce Baumgartner.
Baumgartner. Yeah, there's plenty of firepower here to put that into any food fights.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to find. Who would we ask?
Kyle.
Kyle Klingman.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
He
can
probably knows who threw what.
Yeah, we need a bat phone for Kyle.
We really do. We really do. All right. This is my promise to you. I promise to want to remember this for Monday and to follow up.
Okay.
And that is my commitment to you.
Great. Well, we're over showtime.
Overtime. Mm-hmm. We're in tiebreaker twos.
Bonus wrestling.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Great weekend of wrestling ahead. Hope everyone has a lovely Valentine's Day if you have a Valentine, and if not, we're all your Valentine, and we're happy to do so. We will be back on Monday. I don't know who's with me. Some of you, maybe none of you, but I will be here. That's my.
I will be here.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Watch some wrestling. State championship season, regionals, whatever it is for you. Good luck to you guys and gals. See you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.